Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your girl, Uta. Get ready for a very, very spicy deck profile featuring EB01, OP06, coming at you guys with something a little bit different here on the channel, especially with a leader we don't see a lot of play coming from me on the channel. I believe the last time we went over Uta was during the Uta pre-release weekend and all that sort of thing. Man, I was Uta'd out, bro. Like, I don't know how many events we went to. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to see this deck ever again. But EB01's here. We got a bunch of new cards. In case you guys are unaware of this, how this works, we've gained access to 2K counters, which is Sanji, a new blocker being Bluno, which allows this deck to be a lot more consistent due to the fact beforehand we were running with Wanu cards, which were Ezo counters. So we were playing this beforehand, which we were also using the Mihawks, and we were playing around with either Eustass Kid or 10-drop Doflamingos, depending on your preferences. But that's a lot of dead cards in this deck, especially when you're using your leader ability, using your Nami ability to draw, looking for film. You'd bottom deck a lot of these, right? Again, with the access to more 2Ks, you can replace the Ezo, therefore make this a little bit more consistent. You gain more blockers, so you have a little bit more leeway, a little bit more defensive pressure, especially being able to control board that way with flooding the board with bodies. But overall, though, I do think in EB01 right now with Uta and in OP08, not OP08, sorry, the new structure decks that are coming out, I think they're in fall. This leader is going to be cracked. We get a brand new Shanks, which I'll post on screen about now, right? You know, editing and all that sort of thing. There you go. It should be on screen now. In which is going to make this deck really, really spooky. Like, having a big body that we can just get off leader ability, or we can get off with the Nami ability, and not have to bottom deck like Kid, it's going to be pretty good. But overall, I think this deck is pretty fantastic right now into the metagame. You do have a little bit of setbacks playing into RP Law, of course. Now, just a little bit of setbacks. And that's simply due to the fact that the man can just remove whatever he wants to that's on board, which makes this deck a little bit of a struggle. And then Sakazuki, of course, as well. Unless you guys see like the perfect curve, the right cards, you're good to go. Most Uta games, you can just crush Sakazuki. Most. And again, this is perfect hands, all that sort of thing. But a good Sokka player can still just shut down this deck entirely. It's one of the main reasons why we don't see your boy Doflamingo anymore when it comes to the film package, right? Because Uta does it better. But prior to Uta being a thing, film used to be in Dofi as well. That deck kind of died as soon as people found out how to play around with Sakazuki. Being able to Rob Lucci and pop, two bodies on board was way too fast for this deck to keep up with. And it's similar with Uta. Again, unless you see that phenomenal curve, it's a little bit harder, for them to deal with. Overall, you do have Law, which he struggles to deal with popping multiple units at a time. So, with Sokka being out of the metagame here very, very soon, this deck can actually become a lot better because black decks also lose removal. We lose Greater Eruption, right? Sakazuki goes bye-bye, so not a lot more bottom decking. You will still have to deal with other blue decks that have access to bottom decking, but not as, Sakazuki. Uta, being able to flood the board with all these units, and as quickly as we're able to do it, makes this deck pretty consistent. I've also run into a lot of Yamatos as of late, and to be fair, I think Yamato struggles into Uta. And that's not saying that you're a bad Yamato player, that's not saying that Uta's just better than you. It's more so that you're giving her 2K counters every single time you attack Uta with your double attack, with leader, right? Makes sense. Those 2K counters go where? They protect Kid. What does Kid say no to? Hody Jones. You can't get over this guy no matter what. You have to attack into him. Doesn't matter if he's rested or whatever, you have to attack into this. And when you have a massive amount of 2K counters in hand, being that you also got a brand new one from EB01, such as Sanji, it makes this so much easier to protect and deal with Yamato. Now, there are some other decks in the format, such as Enel and Katakuri, Unfortunately, I didn't run into either of these today, but these decks don't really change all too much, especially Katakuri. I mean, like, you know, it's the same Katakuri as it's always been as of late. So, yeah, stick Kid on board, and we're chilling, right? And Nell, on the other hand, he has access to Kingdom Come, so he can remove the Kid with ease. Kingdom Come, Raigo, whatever we're going to call it right now. But this pushes him down to 1 life, and we have multiple kids, so we should be okay in this scenario. Now, Uta does have access to another blocker, which normally this would be used as Rosinante, but in Uta, it makes this deck a little bit clunky to use Rosinante over something like Bluno, which is searchable off of your leader ability and searchable off of Nami. I'd rather go with consistency more so than by chance. And I get it, you know, you're drawing cards, you know, every turn, you're playing by chance. I get you. But to be able to do this consistently it makes it a lot better for you. Bluno can also be played off of the Kid's ability, the same thing with the Uta. So you have 2 options to play down if you have a Kid in hand, which is nice, right? Multiple blockers, more so, the better. Everything else here in this list doesn't really change all too much. You know, some decks opt to play around with the Doflamingo, which is fine, but again, I feel like it's a little bit clunky. So I'd rather just keep the Eustass Kid in the deck instead. This makes it for a better time versus most matchups here, especially considering all the 2K counters that we can run with all the blockers here, which is really good. But overall, I do hope you guys give Uta a shot. Please don't ignore this deck. This is going to be at your regionals, this is going to be in your online events, this is going to be at your locals. This is going to be a hard deck for a lot of people to deal with, especially decks like Katakuri. Being able to stack so many bodies on board, it just makes this very, very consistent. It's very strong. But decks like Sakazuki, Gecko Moria, they do have a better time into Uta than most other decks in the format. Now, Gecko can be beaten. I'm not saying he's unbeatable, but he does have a better chance at Uta. Same thing as Saka, due to the fact that they can remove multiple bodies on the field at the same time. Other decks, not so much. Anyway, we're going to play a bunch of games today, as we normally do here on the channel, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today, coming at you guys with a Green Film Uta, playing into Yamato, in which this is going to be one of those matchups that you guys should see a lot, whether it's at locals and regionals or what have you. Yamato is going to be everywhere. But don't worry. If you're playing Uta, you really have nothing to worry about. Like, even I struggle playing against Uta as Yamato here. It's just one of those matchups where you kind of got to take it slow. We'll see if this Yamato does that. If they don't, they decide to give me a lot of cards for Kid, I'm totally game. Normally, I like to just take all the hits, unless they stack an Onami down with Banish, then I have to guard out. If not, cool. We're taking all the swings. This is the first hit. We all know 8K generally, so. Unfortunately, though, our hand is not the best. We did get the mulligan into the Kid, which is nice, but we got another Kid off of the triggers there, and we have 2 I'm Invincibles in hand, so it's looking pretty bad. We do have we do have Nami, though. But I think we have to do the Uta thing, just in case they do have an Onami off trigger. We don't want to pop her in this scenario. Nice. Okay, so we'll just play her down for now then. We get a body on board, we get a free 2K from our leader ability, which is nice. If they don't slap down another Onami here, and they decide to go, you know, big, I'll take the hit. But if they do play it, we'll have to guard out. Okay, nice. Yeah, sure. This may seem a little bit silly, but with the amount of blockers that this deck plays, with access to Kid, amount of 2Ks, and all the counter that we will be drawing off leader ability, we should be fine. And who's to say? Not every game Yamato gets Hody, but, you know, knowing my luck, they already have it in hand, so we'll see. Let's do the Nami thing. They stacked the life up there, so that just tells me it's probably going to be like the Pop Me or like a Kikinojo or something. Let's take the blocker here. As much as I want to get the new Genesis, just in case, you know. We could whiff on that. There could be another Kid there and what have you, or like another event. I don't want any of that. I'd rather take the guaranteed in this scenario. Yep, there's the Onami. And we get a 2K out of that, which is nice. So now we can do Brook into Uta. That way we have a blocker on board. It might not do a whole lot, but I don't see them playing Hody down so early. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. We get one blocker up. They do have access to a Maru here if they choose to, you know, rest the Uta, then just go face. If that's the case, we'll take the hit anyway. I'd rather save as much counter as I can for Kid. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Got 5 Dawn active. I'm assuming maybe a Momo. Maybe. Because we don't play anything else. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Alright. That's fine. Blacklight. Not bad. I won't get any value out of a Kid if I decide to play him now. I don't have the Dawn to attach to him. So perhaps we just Blacklight the Momo and then go face and see what he wants to do. We'd be giving him back the Hiyori, but putting Yamato at 1 life is probably better for me, especially if I can get Kid on board next turn. Let's just do it this way. Let's see, he'll just probably block, maybe? Yeah, this will be fine. We'll just go 6. Nice, another 2k. I'm going to ignore the Momo, though. I don't really care about it. He can't bounce the Momo to life with another Momo, so it's kind of just irrelevant here at this point. We have 5 Dawn here to play with. We can play down another Brook into a Balloon blocker if he need be. So let's go 6 into face. Cool, we get a 2k counter. So he's running Mihawk here as well, which is interesting. This allows me to do this, have 2 blockers down on board. Nah, I'm good. Don't really care about that right now. So this is like an opportune moment now. If he decides to drop the Hody Jones, he can rest both blockers, play down Namaru if he has it. Go 8k with lead, 10k with Hody Jones, and 6k with Momo. We got 14k counter in hand. I think we're fine. Even if that was the play. We'll let the Brook go. It's not really a big deal. Kikinojo hits down. Another Momo. Okay. Alright. So this is what we're doing today. This leads me to believe they don't have Hody Jones, right? Yeah, okay, so no Hody Jones today. We have to counter out here, fortunately. Doesn't really matter what we decide to throw away. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, sure, why not? Can I get a 2k? No. I get another blocker, though. That's nice. We can do the Kid thing here, get down the Uta, which would be pretty cool. I don't know. Was that English? I'm not sure if that was English. It's crazy. Alright. Go 6. Draw 1 card. Hopefully. Yep. Another 1k counter. I'm hoping he takes the damage and just take Kikinojo here. I don't see why he wouldn't. Okay. Alright. Fair. Interesting. I would think he wants the body on board, but what do I know? Because that would have been possibly 3 attacks into Kid. Yamato. Interesting. That must be like the last resort, considering they didn't see Hody. Maybe that's what they are playing also in the deck. They are able to get rid of the Uta though, so that does suck. 8k into Kid. And then 1 Dawn open. You might as well just attach it, buddy. Just go 9. There you go. Okay. So we'll counter out here with the 2k. I'm not going to give them up my blockers right now. So we get Luffy. So we have another blocker here as well. How about we just play down the other Kid? That's not a bad option. Even though we can play the Luffy into like an Usopp or something, but we'd have to get rid of a blocker. So we can just play down another Kid. And then we have 4 blockers on board. 2 walls he can't rest, being the Kids. And I think we're chilling. Now we can just take control of the game again. Yamato is still a problem. You know, her swinging at a 9k, which is kind of a thing we have to deal with. Let's clear the Momo. That's one less attack we have to deal with. And let's go 5 face. I want to see if he'll take the damage here and just put the Kikinojo on board. Nice. Okay, cool. So now we should potentially be able to go for game next turn. Unless he decides to play more blockers down. So they decide to reject the Uta. Which is alright. I mean, it's one blocker they don't have to deal with. But we still have 2 kids on board. I think I would have probably taken the Dawn and just started attacking into the kid. Opposed to getting rid of the Uta blocker. Because realistically, you could have gotten the Uta anyway, right? If I decided to block with the Uta or what have you, you would have got that for free. I'm not sure why they decided to play down Izo to rest the Bluno here. It makes no sense to me. I get they're going to swing into the kid, right? What is that? Okay. That's a lot of damage. I get it. But we have way too many cards in hand for this to actually be a thing, so... They just gave away a 2k counter for free, essentially. We have 2 I'm Invincibles in hand, so we can go for game next turn. We need to keep Kid on board, though, so we have to counter out. And there you go, buddy. 3 cards left. We should be able to kill them next turn. Alright. Now we have 3 I'm Invincibles. Cool. Rest that. Let's just take it slow, I guess. Get the guaranteed hits off first. Let's go 7 here. We know they have the 2k at the very least. Yep. Alright. This should be guaranteed, I think. Okay. If we go 5 and restand, this seems kind of irrelevant, so I think we should just go 9 and just call it a day. Sure. Nice. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to keep them coming. Playing against a Law here this time around, in which, you know, everyone's probably tired of seeing this deck. Me included. He's going to be at regionals, he's going to be online, he's going to be at locals, everywhere. I feel like this deck is a little bit overrated. Not that it's not great, because it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic, but it's just... I feel like soccer players kind of got like a buff, essentially, and then now they're just starting to play Law. But, you know, who's to say? In any case, this might be a tough matchup for us. It's very, very hard to stick cards on board versus Law. And I think the best way to do this is getting the Luffy and the Brook. Because I don't think Kid's going to survive. If they're smart, they would assume that, hey man, once Kid gets the board, they have to remove it immediately. If not, it's just going to constantly get value. So they'll probably just save up cards to remove that as well. The Brook and the Luffy allow me to put multiple units on board at a time, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Law to be able to remove right away. That's unfortunate. I still forget about Mihawk sometimes, man. I'm just like, oh, cool. We only run 4 kids now. No, we still got the Mihawk in here. Be it I don't run a full play set, but still. He pops up in every now and then. We are able to get 2 bodies on board here, so... He played Otama last time, so I doubt he has removal here, which clearly he doesn't, considering he played Reiju, so we'll take it. Why not? Is it... I don't think he can hit me otherwise. Like, he can remove the Dawn, he doesn't get it back, so he has no kid on board, so he can't attach, you know? So I think we're chilling now at this point. Oh yeah, never mind. I forgot about this guy. Yep, you got it. But he attacked with the blocker, so I'm totally okay with that. Especially considering Brook and Usopp are still on board here. It's kind of in our favor. Although we're at 1 life so quick. But all them 2Ks though. Ooh. Okay, alright, I see you. How about no? Or do we... Give him the 2K here. We have to. Because who's to say he doesn't have another Kid and Killer in hand already for next turn. And this is a lot of attacks we have to deal with now. We can do the Luffy thing, which would be nice, but I think we have to try to clear board here. So into the Beppo and into the Kid, at the very least. Shiraiya's going to stay at 6k, unfortunately, until his turn. So just give it to me. You don't need him. Thank you. Cool. Yep. Come on. Darn. We tried it. We can get the Luffy, another blocker on board. And we do have a lot of 2k counters in hand, so this might work out. Should we get rid of the black light, though? I guess. Or stand one of these. It might have even been better. No. We have to have the Luffy down, right? Otherwise we just lose. So I was thinking if we were to blacklight something on board and then try to clear the rest of them, maybe that would have been a good play. But I think we have to have the blocker on board here to survive. Law is at 4 Dawn. So, I mean, once he does his removal effect, he'll be at 1 Dawn after this. And he's not getting through to me due to the fact that Luffy's a 7k. So I think we're chilling. He did see the Reiju, he saw the Kid and Killer, he saw the Shiraiya. Like, he's drawn a lot of really good pieces. Yeah, sure, you can have this one, I guess. Actually, in hindsight, I should have blocked that with Uta. That's my bad. Oh well, mistakes were made. Sorry, Brooke. Next time, buddy. Don't worry. Redon left to play with. He has to spend the Dawn first before he uses the leader ability, which is kind of makes this an awkward situation, unless he's attacking with it. Alright, yeah, sure. No problem. How do you feel now, though? Goodness. Okay, another Reiju. Not bad. And he has to pass up. Alright. Well, this just got a lot easier. Play down there. Luffy, do the Uta again. Just stacking multiple bodies on board versus these decks, sometimes I feel like that's just the way to go. Another 2k. 4 Sanjis in hand right now. So he knows we at least have 1 2k now. Remember, he's got 3 Dawn now he has to use. That's it. That's all he gains access to. Now he's about to have 1 again. Or I guess 2 for the following turn. But yeah. If he decides to attack with Shiraiya, or even if he does, I think he still loses, right? 6k here. I think we need the Usopp. So we'll just guard out with Luffy. Yep. So what do you play? Okay. Today just isn't your day, Law. I'm sorry. This ain't it, buddy. You've seen 1 blocker today. No queens, no kids. And sometimes it'd be like this. I still do think Uta does have a good matchup into this, as long as she can see the kids, or sorry, the Luffys and the Brooks. Like I said, being able to put multiple bodies down at a time versus Law is pretty detrimental sometimes, considering he can't remove both of them. And to be able to do this multiple turns in a row is very, very good. I think we can take it slow here, really. I think it's probably better just to take the Nami here. If I take the Bluno, it's just an easy target for him to remove to put another body on board for free. Nami, he has to work at it a little bit, but Bluno does have the 1k counter, so. We have the I'm Invincible in hand to discard if need be. I just want to see what attacks can get through here. Let's do this first. It's a very, very bad idea for me to do that backwards, by the way. It's terrible. Never do that. Okay, cool. That's fine. He had a Law in hand, too. That's crazy. Let's go 9 here. Cool. Can we get there, boys? Does he have enough? Yeah, because that was, like, super backwards, and I shouldn't have done that. Yep. Huh. That's fine. He still can't win. He can't win, which is funny to me. But he has no Dawn, so I mean, well, what is he gonna do? We have plenty of counter in hand, so we're just chilling at this point. He drew what, 6 cards this game with the Reiju effects, 2 each time. Or I believe there was one turn he drew 1. I don't remember. It's at least like 5 or 6 cards he's drawn. We'll block out here instead of giving away 2k counters or 1k counters. Just get rid of the highest one for now. And then all these attacks are just going to be, 5k. So you can't even do leader effect here. Keep them coming, buddy. Keep them coming. I got plenty of Sanjis in hand. Yes, sir. Yeah, you thought. I kind of really played this matchup as I would play any other Uta match, but... Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into another game, coming at you guys with Uta, playing into RP Luffy today. I believe we played against Law earlier, in which we're going to play against another deck that we don't normally see here on the channel, let alone in the wild, essentially. RP Luffy has had his time to shine, but yet I think he's a deck that has gotten a lot better since EB01 with the new Mr. Tubon Clay, and he's still being a 6k leader. It's still very difficult for a lot of decks to get over, especially RP Law. But at the end of the day, this deck did perform very, very well at one of the most recent regionals here in the past weekend. I think it was like 1,007 players, 1,010, somewhere around there. He did really, really well. But I don't know why you countered like that, but alright. What was that? A 0 cost event, a Frankie, and a Law. That's awkward. Okay. Math is hard sometimes, but what are you going to do? But in any case, this is going to be a tougher matchup for us as well. I just think we have to make sure we're consistently attacking each and every turn, regardless of if we're going to lose value on getting a draw off Nami here or not. We have to be smacking for 6 to make this man discard cards. Our hand is looking really, really good. Thankfully, we have 2 I'm Invincibles in hand here as well, so this should be something that we can make use of and win game. Ooh, a king. Funny, I was just talking about king in the comments of my video recently. It's crazy. Alright, sure. Yep, we'll take that. 3 of them. I think we have to do the Luffy thing here. Because he's about to ramp up pretty hard, so we need these blockers on board. We can do the Brook into the Uta here. Nice. Yeah, so he goes up to 9 dot now. Which, if he has it, it's a new gate. Okay, he doesn't have it. Awesome. Or maybe he does. Don't forget the ramp. That's awkward. Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird play. I don't know why. Right, going 8k, sure. I'm not really worried about this all too much. I know we don't have Kid in hands, but I think even without Kid, we should be fine. We do have the Luffy, so he can't really pop Luffy. Unless he plays down, like a Newgate or the 10 cost Luffy and attacks into it. I think we're chilling. 2 new Genesis. Watch, here comes Kid. What did I tell you? Every single time you want this card, it always pops up at the wrong time. But it's okay, though. We do get the black light, so we can rest the Queen. Not that that's relevant. It's probably better for me not to do it, though, right? We should just go 6k and see what he wants to do. Sweet. Another blocker. He's got 1 dot up for Rad Beam. Sad stake to hit. Okay. We can restand Luffy here with Uta, so we can go 10k. This will force a Rad Beam and another counter. Or block with Queen. Nice. Huh. And he chose not to save it. Interesting. Joro's not really doing all too much here. So I think going face is probably just a better play. He's not getting any more ramp, and he has to attach the Don Zoro to, be able to swing with it. Another Law. I think that's, 2 Laws we've seen so far? If I remember. I know he had one of the trash from earlier when he made the mistake of countering out, but that's about it. We can trash one of these. 3-stand Luffy. We have to anyway. Got 4 blockers on board though. Like, I think we're just chilling with all this counter in hand. I think we're doing alright. If he starts swinging without attaching Dawn here, this just tells me he's going to probably try to time walk with Luffy. I still think that's not going to get him anywhere due to all the blockers that we have on board. That's 3 laws and trash. I don't know why he didn't play one down to get me to discard cards. Although, again, we have a lot. It's not really like it would hurt us all too much here. 7k. 7k with King. He can still get the... No, he can't get another Dawn. So this still can be a Newgate turn, if need be. Let's block out. No, actually, he's not. He shouldn't play Newgate here, right? He would have played Newgate originally, if that's what he was going to do. That way he would have swung for 8k instead of 7. So what does he play for 8 Dawn here? We got a counter here. Unfortunately. Yeah, what do you play for 8 Dawn? Rush Luffy. Okay. That's a little wild to me. Do we care about this? Can I win next game? I don't think I can win next turn, so we have to guard here. Because that's a radical beam, right? With 1 Dawn open. 7k. I can block, give you a 1. It's definitely a rad beam. But I also don't think it matters here. Let's kill this. Just because we can. You know, assert dominance. Beat Uta. Let's go 6 here. If he takes the hit, then he just loses. Nice. What you got? And that's a whole lot of nothing. Overall, though, not bad. Not bad. It feels like it's been a long time since I actually sat down and did a Uta video, though. To be fair, I think the last time we played Uta, as much as we have recently, was during the Uta event. Yo, that burned me out, man. I don't know how many events we went to. It just... Oof. At the time, I felt like the deck was fun, but it was missing a lot of cards that we couldn't get into EB01. And now that we have them, it just feels so much more consistent. It flows nicer. It feels a lot more fun to play. But there's still a lot of new leaders out here in the format. There are going to be a lot more leaders coming out in OPO7 as well, in which we have to dive into, man. It's very hard for me to stick down to one leader and just play that. I know, I've been playing a lot of Yamato as of late, so doing something a little bit new, like Uta. I know this is a fan favorite deck, and she's very, very good. Ooh. It might be better just to grab the Zoro, or not Zoro, but grabbing the Zoro. To be fair, this gives us an extra counter here. But yeah, man, Uta is very, very strong still in this format. I think with Sakazuki leaving and Gecko Moria getting that nerf as well with Greater Eruption, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to remove multiple bodies on the field at a time. You know what I mean? Ooh, a Yamato. Love to see it. 7 here. So, the Film Dofi package could potentially come back as well, now that I think about it. That's something I might even dive into in the future. Again, no Sakazuki. Great Eruption goes away. I know we have to deal with Rob Lucci too, but let's be honest, I mean, I don't feel that deck's a problem. I just don't. That's just me. But we'll see. We'll see what it comes down to. Anyway, back into this matchup here with Odin. Ooh, Hody Jones. Alright. Very aggressive. Love to see it. Actually, I don't, because this is about to hurt. Yep, you got it. We have very little counter in hands. We do have Kid, though. So, I mean, I think Kid can just wall off his whole board next turn if I need him to. Or we can let this go, right? We have double I'm Invincible in hand. If he decides to attack with Yama and Hody, we'll just clean them both up. Nice. Sure. I don't know if this is worth guarding either, though. I kind of want to keep the counter for Kid. I feel like this is a misplay, but we'll see. Yama can't pop anything being a 5k. Can go face, though, with Banish. We can't let that happen, sorry. Yeah. Alright, so we got a clear board. He has 5 cards in hand, so there's no way I'm going to be able to clear Hody Jones. Unless I'm just going to Dawn up Uta and just go swinging. I think if we play Kid, we just lose out. We have to control this here. We have 9 Dawn. We can do it. We can go 7 in the Kikinojo. Or the Yamato. It doesn't really matter here at this point. Sure. I think we should just poke him. See what he wants to do here. Do you have the counter? Mihawk unfortunately comes up again. That does suck. He does have the counter. We'll take this out. Hopefully. Nice. Do you have enough? No, sir. Let's go, boys. Alright, so we gotten rid of, what, quite a bit of cards in hand there as well. What was that, 3 cards, I think? Or was it 2? I think it was 3. And we cleared the whole field. He has to reset. Momo gets him a Denjiro, so he probably has to play that down for Odin's ability, unless he has another 5-cost Wanu in hand. That's awkward. Okay. I would never, ever, ever do that. And I wouldn't advise anyone else to ever do that either. That just seems like very counterintuitive and silly. Like, Kid has Rush. Great. Let him do the Rush thing and attack. Like, why would you do this? Come on, bro. But, you know, each their own. We can do the Kid thing here. Get down the little guy. Attach it on the Kid. Go 6 to face. Or we can clear board. Let's try clearing board here. Hitting Odin really doesn't do us any value. Also force cards out of hand. Brad Beam. Sure. Bye, Kid. Okay. Oh, that's right. He had Denjiro in hand. Totally forgot about him. Alright. 11k. How about no? Get another 1k counter here. Unfortunately, we have to actually put in damage this turn. So he will get some cards in hand. Which is, you know, it is what it is. It's how you win the game. Yep. Let's do it this way first. Because we do have I'm Invincible, so we can get off a lot of damage if need be. That's 6 Dawn left here. So I can go 8k with Leader here as well, and do it again. Sure. I don't think this will get me game, but it might just get me cards out of hand. Okay, that's fine. Do I want to take the last life here? Is it worth it? Let's try it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I can't really play anything else right now besides an Usopp. So, let's go 8 again. We still have the Luffy. 7k counter in hand too, so if he attacks with Denjiro, we can pop it with Blacklight. Okay, now we can't. He attached multiple Dawn. Fair enough. Again, how about no? Trying extra hard today. It's crazy. These are like the worst situations to be in playing against an Uta, where you know they have Kid and they have like a bunch of cards in hand. Bro, we're just waiting for that moment. That's it. I feel like this card is still just a menace. As long as blue decks aren't really relevant right now in OP06, I mean, Kid just can do his thing. He can't be removed. if you have like Rosinante on board, like you go ahead and counter out Sakazuki's, unless he's bottom decking the Rosinante or bottom decking the Kid. Other than that, though, you're chilling, man. Nice. Good game, man. Now we out. Funny enough, I know we played against this guy earlier today at some point, but you know, I didn't really want to showcase it. Right? We've already played against RP Luffy today, so I'm just like, you know what? But this is a deck that we don't see that often in OP06. And again, it did do really well in one of the most recent regionals here. I had over 1,000 players, so I'm just like, you know what? Why not? Maybe the first game was a fluke, and he just didn't draw very good. So we'll see how it goes this time around. Still the same plan for me. I feel like we're going to be attacking him 6k at the very least, each and every turn. We're going to try our best to. That way we're getting rid of cards out of hand. And maybe he will lull me this time around. And he won't mess up counter for the first turn, but we'll see. Let's do the Nami thing, get the draw card. We also hit Luffy, so that does suck for him. We get another Luffy. We might just be chilling, boys. We got his first 2k counter with Frankie, which is cool. There's probably like 11 more to go, or maybe 7 more to go, somewhere between there. Big difference, but still. He's at 6 Dawn. So perhaps he dons up Zoro, swings in for 5, attacks for leader for 6, 5 Dawn Act to play with, Queen maybe, Kid. Oh, he actually just goes 6 to me. Bro, didn't you learn your lesson last time? That is totally okay. We'll take these. This is irrelevant here. He's a 6k leader. Sure, you got it. No problem. Not developing a body there is wild. We don't need to. I was about to say, if you counter that, you crazy. You should go up to 9 Dawn next turn, and then with leader ability, you go up to 10, so no use for him anymore. It does suck because we didn't get an attack in this turn. Instead, I decided to clean Zoro up. Just so that's, you know, one less attacker that he has on board. No other reason. I probably should have just attacked leader, like I said I was going to, but it is what it is. Kid! Alright, I do like to see it. Very good card in this deck. So now he's going to be a 7k, which does suck. So we have to figure out how to get rid of this killer. Or get rid of this kid. Yep, another 10k power here. Sure. Oh. Yeah, that's totally okay. I mean, actually, you know what? We can guard out with the Luffy and give a little bit of counter here. We don't have the Kid, or I can just give him the Uta. Alright. Dang, man, still no Kid. We both know what's about to happen. If I attack with Nami, the Kid will pop up. If I play New Genesis, the Kid's gonna pop up. I'm just calling it now. Please no, though. Every time, dude, I swear. It never fails us. But 7k is 7k. Let me get them cards. Alright, so he gives me a Queen. I can restand Luffy if I decide to attack with him. 2 Kids back to back. That feels bad, man. Hopefully we won't need those and we're able to win the game without it. Sure. So we got a 1k the first time, then we got a 2k the second time. So he doesn't have any more 1k counters in hand. We have 4 Dawn left to play with. Let's go 7k with Luffy. We can restand it off the Uta effect at the end of the turn anyway. Now we have 2 Dawn left to play over, so we can actually play down another blocker here. Let's do the thing. We'll get rid of one of these. Alright, buddy, come at me. Okay, yep. If I block out here, he just kills it with Luffy. There's no point. And we really don't need her right now. Got his Dawn back, so he can play down Newgate still, or 10-drop Luffy maybe? Or Kaido. Rush Luffy. Every time I think he's gonna do a play, he does something completely opposite each and every time. Or almost each and every time. We have to counter out of this unblockable though, just in case he has another Luffy in hand for next turn. Let's backlight it. Just get it out of here. 5 cards left. 3 Dawn open, so Radical Beams I'd assume at this point. We have a lot of Dawn to push for game here. Problem is, I don't think he has enough for it. Okay. Cool. We'll take those. It's fine. That's good. Let's try it. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I can swing at him for 8k, restand with I'm invincible, and then get walled off both times. Nah, let's go for Kid. This will at least force a Radical Beam if he has another one. Nice. We have to do the thing, unfortunately. So we'll get this out. Or restand this, get this up, whatever we call it. Alright, Luffy, what do you do? Okay. I felt like I had to guard that. Okay, so he does have the 10-drop Luffy. Relax, man. Goodness. Yep, sure. So he's swinging for 12 and 9 and 10k. Which is a problem. And unblockable. Okay. That's awkward. I think we have to guard one of these at the very least. And that's good game. Well played. Yep. Cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video in which we talk about the deck list, do little changes here and there, breakdowns, all that sort of thing. But unfortunately, this is one of those days in which we're not going to really be doing a whole lot to Uta. Like, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of stuff that you can change here in this list to make it better or worse. Like, it's kind of straightforward. It's not copy pasta, but it's more so there's a little bit of leeway, just not much in a Green Uta deck. All right, it's really all a knowledge game. You got to know your matchups, which is a little bit difficult. We have a lot of leaders right now, so there's a lot of new players coming in and out of the game. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of cards to learn. It's really just repetition at this point with Green Uta, like, to be fair. And you will learn as you go with this deck, I think. It's pretty, I don't want to say self-explanatory, I don't want to say straightforward, but it's one of the easier decks to pick up and play than it is for most of other decks in the format. Now, there's particular matchups, though. You do have to take it a little bit differently. Like, I tried to explain it a little bit as I was playing into the Yamato. This is one of those matches where you're going to see a lot at regionals, you know, online, at locals, whatever. This is one of those leaders where if she's going to double attack you, I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I'm going to take the double cards, or sorry, the double triggers. That's fine. Because it's going to be a counter of some sort, hopefully. That way I can protect the kid, and we're chilling. As long as it's not an Onami banish double attack, you know, then we have to counter out and be prepared. Other than that, you're taking a life, boys and girls. You're protecting out for the kid, and you're having a good time doing it. But that's just one of those decks in which it's going to be practice, you know what I mean? And into Yamato to get better into it. I do believe playing into Uta as Yams is a little bit challenging, and I feel like Yamato loses out to Uta a lot of the times unless you know the matchup. But who's to say? Now, I have been playing around a lot with Queen as of late for EB01, so I might dive into that here soon on the channel. You guys do know I've been playing a Queen quite a bit, and it's about time we touch on EB01. I don't think Queen is really going to change all too much right now in the metagame until Gecko Moria and Sakazuki get that, you know, that nerf hammer. But for now, Queen is Queen. I don't see Queen being relevant or doing all too much until Sokka goes away. And then maybe he can make a splash somewhere. Not saying that he's going to be like top tier meta or anything of that nature, but he'll be a lot better. In any case, I've been playing around with Queen and some other leaders here that I want to do a couple videos with. I don't want to spoil too many, but I do want to dive into another Odin list I've been playing around with here on the channel. And I want to play some Perona, because I am very much interested in playing Perona for OP07 as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. We have access to a bunch of cards that Yamato is going to be using in the decks, so it's going to be a lot of fun, especially when I'm able to draw so many with You Are My Samurai. So stay tuned for that list. And then I want to go into, where are we at, man? Not purple. Come on, load. Thank you. The new Rob Lucci for OP07. I want to get a deck list out for you guys for OP07 here as well. So, I mean, that should be within the week. At least I want to do that. I don't know if it'll happen. Like I said, I have a lot of lists that I want to go over, but this is something I'm looking forward to playing around with here as well. But in any case, this has been my list for EB01 with Uta. Stay tuned, because we are going to be getting a bunch of new cards in the structure decks that are coming out. I showed you guys Shanks earlier, so hopefully it didn't spoil, you know, too many things for a lot of people here, but this deck is going to get a lot more consistent, a lot more fun. Either way, though, this has been Pawseplays. Remember to smash the like button, make sure you subscribe for future content when it comes to all things One Piece. The Discord, I'll give you guys details in the next video. Don't miss it. I'll see y'all later. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys at locals. I'm gonna head out.